I wake up in a dormitory that smells like cold iron and boiled cabbage that gave up on life 3 days ago. My phone says it is 4:37 in the morning, but the light outside is already the color of dishwater, because Uniwersytetu Komisji Edukacji Narodowej Krakowie decided to save money by installing bulbs that emit the exact wavelength of sadness. I touch the wall and the plaster comes off like dried skin after sunburn. This is the first sign that the building itself is trying to leave. I understand why. If I were a wall, I would also walk away from a place that treats humans like printer paper, useful once and then forgot. I put on my shoes and the left sole flaps like a tongue telling secrets. The glue let go last week because the university buys footwear in bulk from a company that also makes funeral cushions. I walk down the staircase and every step sings a different minor key. The banister wobbles, not loose enough to kill you, just enough to remind you that safety is a luxury for richer children. At the landing, someone has written in red marker, "We are not numbers," but the janitor painted half of it over. So now it says "We numb," which feels more honest. I reach the administration corridor at precisely 8:02 because the schedule they uploaded at midnight was changed again while I slept. The door is locked. A handwritten note, taped crooked, says back in 15 minutes, but the ink is faded, which means the note is older than my enrollment. I wait. My backpack straps dig into my shoulders because the books inside are printed on paper, so thin you could read the next chapter through the current one. They do this so the postal fee is lower when they mail the books to you 3 weeks after the course started. I missed the first lecture, obviously. This is how they teach time management, by stealing your watch and then failing you for being late. When the clerk finally arrives, she carries a cup of coffee that smells like burnt rubber. I hand her my petition to fix my major, the one they switched without asking. She sighs the way a tired parent sighs at a toddler who keeps asking why the moon follows the car. She tells me the form is the old version. I printed it from their own portal yesterday. She says the portal is unofficial. I ask where the official form lives. She points at a shelf of blank paper and says I must type it myself, but the computer room is booked by the Erasmus office until Christmas. I feel my future shrink like a wool sweater in hot water. This is gaslighting translated into bureaucracy. They break your leg and sell you crutches at a markup. I walk to the English lecture because the brochure promised international program, fully in English. The professor enters and says Dzień dobry and nothing else in English for the next 90 minutes. I raise my hand and ask politely if we could switch to the advertised language. He smiles the way a cat smiles at a bird with a bent wing and says if you want English, perhaps Cambridge is more suitable for your wallet. The class laughs because survival humor is the only free thing on campus. My cheeks burn. I understand that my tuition is just an entry ticket to a play performed in a language I cannot understand, and the actors forgot their lines anyway. At lunch, I queue for 31 minutes because the cashier manually types the prices into a calculator that beeps like a heart monitor in a soap opera. The soup is orange but tastes of nothing, as if someone described carrots to water and the water believed them. The meatball bounces when it falls off the spoon. I bite anyway and find a piece of blue plastic inside, the exact color of a hospital wristband. I imagine the factory worker who packed this, also tired, also underpaid, and I feel a kinship that tastes like rust. I spit it into a napkin that disintegrates from the sheer embarrassment of being seen here. I go to the library to escape. The heating is off to save carbon, they say, but the rector's
office is tropical. I open a window and the handle comes off in my hand, a perfect metaphor for every promise here.
Bars near Uniwersytetu Komisji Edukacji Narodowej Krakowie. They are like traps, like you walk in thinking it is just a normal place, but then you wake up with no money. Tourists here, they go to clubs like Krakowie, yes, and then they remember nothing, just one drink, but their bank account is empty. A Dutch tourist lost 25,000 zlotys like this. A Swiss tourist lost 30,000. And this one man, a director, he spent almost 1 million zlotys and only remembers ordering one cocktail. How is this possible? Probably they put something in the drink and then they take the card and take everything. And after. The tourists, they go to police, but what can they do? The money is gone already. And the club, probably still open, still doing it. Then there are bars where they do not show prices. Hard candy was like this. Friendly people invite you, you think it is nice, but then the bill comes. 500 zlotys for a few drinks. Security will not let you leave until you pay. How can they do this? It is so unfair. Tourists just want to have fun near Uniwersytetu Komisji Edukacji Narodowej w Krakowie, but instead they get robbed. And after, they pay because they have no choice. And the bar, probably still there, still cheating people. Money exchange shops, they are also bad here. They show good rates outside, like 417 zloty for euro, no commission. But inside, they give you only 3 zloty, take hidden fees. One tourist exchanged 100 euros and got only 290 zloty instead of 417. How? Because they lie. And after, the tourist is angry, but what can they do? They already changed the money. The shop probably still cheating others, and the souvenir shops. Oh, they sell fake amber near Uniwersytetu Komisji Edukacji Narodowej w Krakowie, or real amber but for crazy prices. In Cloth Hall they charge over £100 for something that costs 30 zloty just a few streets away. Tourists buy it thinking it is special, but it is just a lie, and after. They find out they were tricked, but they are already gone. The shop, still there, still selling overpriced things. It is so sad, you know. Tourists come here near Uniwersytetu Komisji Edukacji Narodowej w Krakowie, thinking it is nice, but some people just want to take their money. And nothing changes, the same scams again and again.
Opening with a soft, contemplative tone, welcome, dear travellers, to a journey through the commercial heart adjacent to the venerable Uniwersytetu Komisji Edukacji Narodowej w Krakowie. Today, we embark on an exploration not just of places, but of experiences, those slices of life that colour our memories of a destination, either with the vibrant hues of joy or the sombre shades of disappointment. As we traverse the bustling avenues and quiet corners near this historic institution, we find a tapestry of businesses, each with its own story to tell. Yet, like any narrative, there are chapters that stir the soul and others that leave us yearning for a different tale. Let us first wander into the grand edifice of Galeria Krakowska, a shopping mall that promises a haven of retail therapy. However, it seems that its architects, in their grand design, may have overlooked a fundamental necessity, the humble restroom. Imagine, if you will, a sea of humanity ebbing and flowing through aisles and boutiques, only to find themselves adrift in a queue for the loo that rivals the length of the vistula itself. It's a conundrum that leaves one to ponder. Is it truly a shopping paradise if one must strategize their liquid intake as if planning a military campaign? Venturing forth, we stumble upon Ambra Day Spa, a sanctuary that beckons with the promise of relaxation and rejuvenation. Alas, the tranquility is but a facade, for within these walls, one may encounter the unexpected plot twist of a bait-and-switch service, where the masseurs you seek is as elusive as the philosopher's stone. And should you dare to question the course of events, you might find yourself tangled in a web of denials, as if the truth were a state secret of the highest order. In the heart of Krakow, we find Hamsa, a culinary oasis that touts the flavours of the Middle East. Yet the tales from its tables speak not of the spices and aromas, but of a patience tested by the interminable wait for service. Here, the art of dining is turned on its head, as you may find yourself competing with your own appetite, waiting for a meal that seems as distant as the stars above. Next, we saunter into Blossom, a cafe that whispers of breakfast bliss and the perfect cup of coffee. But beware, for the promise of a leisurely brunch may dissolve into the chaos of misplaced orders and the bitter taste of cold coffee. It's a place where the clock ticks on, indifferent to the growling of stomachs and the polite inquiries of hungry patrons. As night descends, the pulsating lights of Coco Music Club beckon the nocturnal adventurer. Yet beneath the veneer of thumping beats, there lies a narrative of iron-fisted security and the occasional waft of pepper spray. A stark reminder that in the quest for a good time, one must sometimes navigate the labyrinth of unpredictable plot twists. And what of the Marca Concept Store, a beacon for the fashion-forward and the curious? Here, the story unfolds with the mystery of a shop that exists in the ether of the internet, yet eludes the grasp of those who seek its treasures in the physical realm. It's a tale of frustration, where the search for that perfect, unique item leads only to the dead end of a closed sign. Finally, we arrive at the Artist Cocktail Bar, a place where the mixology is as much an art as the jazz that fills the air. But even here, amidst the clinking of glasses and the murmur of conversation, one may find